Okay, this is the final section, so congratulations if you've made it through this guitar crash course. This is our last section. We're putting everything together. So at this point, you should know 4 basic chords. G, any of those variations I just did. D, it's our 3-finger D chord. E minor, and then C. G, D, E minor, C. Now we're going to talk about chord progressions. So chord progressions are essentially a pattern, usually a repeating pattern of chords that exist within a song. So the chord progression we're going to use, just as an example, are going to be those 4 chords, and they're going to be in this particular order: G, D, E minor, C. Okay? So that chord progression is actually super popular, and it's been used in tons and tons of songs. So if you check out the PDF that accompanies this course, you'll see a list in the back of it, or at least a link to a list with all of these chords, or all these songs that use these chords. So you can kind of get an idea of how many songs actually use this chord progression, and ultimately how many songs you can play now that you know these 4 chords. And again, you don't have to know the full fancy, advanced versions of these chords. Stick with just the beginner ones. I'll play through the beginner versions so you can kind of hear how it sounds. G, D, E minor, C. Again. Not bad, right? When you're playing the beginner versions of these with 1 string, I don't really care how many strings you're strumming. You want to focus on making sure that you hit these bottom strings, because that's where most of the chord is coming from. That's where most of our finger work is actually happening. These top strings and some of these chords aren't really part of the actual chord. So if you can avoid strumming them, that's fine. If you notice on our chord charts, if we have X's written out on top of any of those strings, that generally means try not to play those. I don't really care too much if you accidentally hit them. It's not going to be the end of the world. I would rather you focus on getting these fingers in the right spot. And if you end up strumming a couple of strings that may not be included in that chord, it's still going to sound okay. But that's what that means in case you see that sort of thing. So again, just G, D, E minor, C. Practice that chord progression. Start getting used to that. Now, if you're interested in learning how to play more songs or more chords, you can always, look these chords up online. You can look up chord charts, but now you know how to read these chord charts so you can actually apply them to the guitar. And really that's it. That's kind of the basics to get started. If you can do just that, then you'll be able to learn, any types of chords for any kind of song by just using those chord charts. Now clearly there's so much more that goes into actual guitar playing. Strumming patterns and playing solos and lead guitars and little riffs and flourishes and all kinds of stuff. But just to get started, if you can just hit these basic chord positions, practice switching back and forth between those chords. Get your fingers used to moving. Try doing it without looking at your fingers. Try memorizing those chord charts and those chord shapes, and you'll be in good shape to kind of get started and play guitar. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions at all, you can always reach out to me and contact me. If you're interested in learning how to play and sing at the same time, keep going. I have a video course that actually talks about that. Otherwise, I'll see you later. Thanks.